You're watching DD India News Hour. I am Ramesh Ramachandran. Going back to the top story, India's Navy rescues another vessel hijacked off the coast of Somalia, draws praise from the world over for its timely help. Joining me is Vice Admiral Shekhar Sinha, retired. He is a former Chief of Integrated Defence Staff. Vice Admiral Sinha, welcome to DD India News Hour. Another feather in the cap of the Indian Navy, the way it rescued another hijacked ship and crew in the wider Indian Ocean region.
Thank you, Ramesh, for getting me on your program.
Welcome.
And namaskar to all your viewers. Indian Navy has been doing very, shall I say, making Herculean efforts since 2008. From the time the piracy first came into being. And since then, at least one ship is always deployed in the Gulf of Aden and the Red Sea. The Indian Navy has escorted very large number of merchant ships out of Red Sea into the Arabian Sea safely. They have also neutralized very large number of the hijack attempts and piracy attempts. What I need to tell your viewers that Indian Navy has been doing this for last many years. It is just that now it is coming into limelight a little more boldly because it is happening frequently, and it is also linked to Houthis striking the ships in the Gulf of Aden and in Red Sea. It is quite possible that the Red Sea attacks by the Houthis has given them little bit of opportunity, probably, that while the world is busy in tackling the Houthi attacks in the Red Sea, they can have a little free time. But without realizing that the ships deployed there by US Navy or the UK Navy, Royal Navy, they are looking after one part of the task, and Indian Navy is looking after the task of safe and timely arrival of public goods into the ports where they are headed for. And this is an old area, and today was obviously a very, very wise decision for Sumitra, I.N.S. Sumitra, to go and send the boarding party by their boat. And the boarding party is always armed, and they have a laid down standard operating procedure as to what is to be done, how they are to be warned, and if they don't get off the vessel being hijacked, they will board, and they will go from compartment to compartment to make sure that it is vacated. So this was again, Indian Navy will continue to do this. It's a reflection that Indian Navy is the most powerful, capable Navy,
right,
which should be the preferred security partner of all the countries who are in the Indian Ocean littoral. So I think in Indian Ocean, Indian Navy is the most powerful resident Navy.
Right. Vice Admiral Sinha, another question: what kind of planning or strategy goes into a successful rescue at sea? For instance, does international law have a role in deciding which country or countries have a responsibility to protect commercial shipping lanes? For instance, does the Indian Navy have an area of responsibility?
Ramesh, you see, the UNCLOS, the United Nations Convention on Laws of the Sea, gives you freedom of innocent passage to every seafarer, not only warship, merchant ships, etc. The Indian Navy has taken upon itself that they will do that work in the Indian Ocean, and therefore they deployed mission-based deployment in seven different areas of the Indian Ocean. And therefore it is the duty of Indian Navy and all seafarers to assist another ship which is in difficulty, which is in danger of being sunk, or it is under some kind of disaster. So I think it is what is called a responsible country, and it does its task towards the world duty very diligently, not from now, but right from the time that Indian Navy has been in existence.
Vice Admiral Sinha, the fact that the Indian Navy is operating in waters far away from the country's shores, what should that tell the viewers watching this broadcast about India and Indian Navy's force projection?
Well, this is to tell you that the Western Naval Command, the headquarters of which is located in Mumbai, it has the responsibility of maritime security in entire Arabian Sea, the Persian Gulf, or the Gulf of Aden, and east coast of Africa, right up to nearly 10 degrees south latitude. So our ships are operating in various parts, and wherever there is a necessity, wherever they get a distress call, they will respond, depending upon which ship is closer. If they can't make it themselves, if there's another merchant vessel in the vicinity of the vessel in distress, it is their duty as per the UNCLOS, as per the International Maritime Organization directives, that they have to assist the ship in distress, because every seafarer has the right of innocent passage, Ramesh, and in that the Indian Navy helps every seafarer to achieve that when they are transiting through Indian Ocean.
Right. Again, for the benefit of viewers who might not be familiar with the intricacies of the issue at hand here, Vice Admiral Sinha, what's the hallmark of a blue water navy? And does the Indian Navy tick all the right boxes in this regard?
Oh, very much, for quite some time. Look at our strength, look at our deployments, look at the force level, and look at the forces that we have. We have 2 aircraft carriers at the moment. We have fighter aircraft, we have submarines, both nuclear and diesel submarines, and we have very large number of ships. And we can take care of maritime security, at least in our area of responsibility, which is laid down by the regulations of Navy, which is laid down by the Government of India. So I would say that if we can deploy our Navy in a diameter of 3,000 kilometers, Ramesh, which is starting from Malacca Strait right up to Gulf of Aden, is nearly 3,000 kilometers. And there is no area where our eyes are not open. We have a very robust maritime domain awareness network, which is helping not only India, but all friendly countries. There are 28 countries with whom we have agreements. Some of them have posted their naval officers in their headquarters, the Maritime Domain Awareness Headquarters, which is located in Gurugram. So I think it's Indian Navy has all the right things, right instruments, right firepower to be called Blue Water Navy.
And finally, Vice Admiral Sinha, India as a net security provider in the Indo-Pacific, how do you see the Indian Navy's role in it? I ask you this because maritime security has acquired a salience of its own in the Indo-Pacific, from the Horn of Africa, the southern Indian Ocean, all the way to the southern Pacific.
No, you're right, Ramesh. A very good question. There are 2 kinds of threat at sea in the Indo-Pacific. One is, of course, the traditional threats. You have adversaries who are out to damage you. So I will leave that aside. There's something called non-traditional threat. And these are piracy, theft, terrorism at sea, human assistance, and drug trafficking, human trafficking, you name it. And if you can respond to all that, then you are a responsible Navy. And our deployment pattern is such, we have such firepower, so many platforms that we deploy in almost all areas of all the Indian Ocean. And therefore, I would say that Indian Navy is capable, and a fairly strong Navy, the strongest resident Navy in the Indian Ocean. I won't say that you are a net security provider. I would like to use the word preferred security partner. By displaying these characteristics, by displaying these incidents which come to light, it only makes our the neighbors in the Indian Ocean littorals more confident of a strong Indian Navy being present, and therefore their maritime security is quite secured. And therefore they have so many bilateral agreements, we have so many multilateral agreements. Every country wants to have an agreement with India, with the Indian Navy. So I think we are in a very good spot, and Indian Navy will continue to add its firepower. There are a large number of ships which are under construction, and this is only going to increase by time.
All right, on that note, Vice Admiral Shekhar Sinha, thank you for joining us and sharing your thoughts and views with our viewers at home and abroad. Thank you for your time. Much appreciated.
Thank you very much.
Moving on, India's Foreign Secretary Vinay Mohan Kwatra has reached Bhutan on a